Welcome, everyone. We'll just get started in a few moments, and the technology details are listed here on the slide if you need them. All right, let's get started. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on introducing the Benefits Wayfinder. Before we start, I just want to share a few details and logistics. Number one, everyone has been put on mute for this webinar, so you won't be able to chime in with your lovely voices, but we do really encourage you to share any questions that you have using the question box on the right side of the screen. We'll be monitoring the question box and the chat throughout the webinar, and we'll make sure that we answer questions that you have. We're also going to be sharing the webinar slides as well as a recording of this session with all of you within a few days by email, so do look out for that. I also want to start by acknowledging that we are joining you from Toronto, which is situated upon traditional territories. These territories include the Wendat, the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations, and the Métis Nation. For those of you who don't know, Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory, and the Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. And today, the meeting place of Toronto is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. And we are grateful to have this opportunity to work in the community on this territory. I'd like to acknowledge and thank everyone on the line joining us from traditional territories across Turtle Island. We are honored to be having this discussion with you today, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. So Prosper Canada, in case you don't know, is a national charity that was founded in 1986, and we're dedicated to expanding economic opportunity for Canadians living in poverty, both through program and policy innovations. And we work with both service systems and organizations in all sectors to build financial empowerment approaches into their businesses in ways that are sustainable, in ways that help them achieve their goals, and most particularly in ways that increase the financial well-being of people living on low incomes. So that's what brings us here today, and really encourage you, if you don't know much about Prosper Canada, to check our website out afterwards, after this session. Today's presentation is going to focus on the Benefits Wayfinder. We have some time at the beginning just for some introductory remarks, which we're right in the middle of. And then we'll dive straight into the Benefits Wayfinder itself. And we're going to cover a few things there. We're going to cover the goal of the Wayfinder and what benefits are in the tool. We're going to walk through using the tool with a persona or an example scenario to show how a specific client would use the tool either on their own or with an agency. We'll also share some tips for using the tool with your clients. And we'll talk about how clients can use the tool on their own to search for benefits. So we're going to spend most of today's webinar doing that deep dive into how the tool works and what you can do on it. We do have some time at the end for Q&A. So as I mentioned at the beginning, please do use the questions section on the panel on your right to share any questions that you have throughout, and we'll make sure we get to them during the Q&A session. And then at the end, we have some final remarks on how you can share this tool with the client, with your clients, and with the general public. For today, the two presenters that you see on top of your screen are myself, Galen McCluskey, and Jack Gibbings. Galen, I'm a manager of program delivery and integration at Prosper Canada, and I've been deeply involved in the development of the Benefits Wayfinder. And here at Prosper Canada, we've been working on this for quite some time, so we're really, really excited to share it with all of you. And Jack Gibbings is a program officer on the program delivery and integration team as well. And he's the one, many people ask us who's been doing all the benefits research. Jack has been leading up a lot of that work and is our benefits expert here. So thanks, Jack, for joining us. All right, to start us off then, we'd actually like to hear from you. If you are able to, and at a keyboard or able to type on your phones if you're joining there, if you can type into the chat, which benefits do you feel are most important for your clients to know about? There's lots of different benefits out there, but if you were to think of the top 1, 2, or 3 that you think everyone should know about, which ones would they be? I'm just going to open the chat so I can see. Perfect. We have someone suggesting the RDSP, disability, health coverage. Okay, we've got lots of them coming in. CPPD, the Canada Pension Plan Disability, EI, seniors benefits, family benefits. Okay, lots of income support ones, GIS. Okay, perfect. There's tons of benefits. I love the engagement. And this is a really good opening to talking about the Benefits Wayfinder, because in this, this world where there's so many different benefits that apply to so many different situations, the Benefits Wayfinder, we think, is a really good way to organize and navigate through all these different benefits. So I love that everyone's coming in with some key benefits they're thinking of that are top of mind. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Jack, who is going to lead us through an introduction to the Benefits Wayfinder itself, and then I will rejoin at our Q&A session. Over to you, Jack.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Galen, and welcome everyone. I'm super excited to share this tool. As Galen mentioned, I've spent a lot of time in the past few months working on these benefits. So before we get right into the exciting part, we're going to set the stage, set the context. So first off, our goals for today, we want you to understand how you might use the Benefits Wayfinder to support your clients. And we want to make sure you're equipped to share this tool with the general public and your clients, because we really would appreciate that. And so the context, like, why did we create this Benefits Wayfinder, besides all of the obvious reasons? Currently, over 1.7 billion in benefits for low and moderate income Canadians go claimed each year, and this is a really conservative estimate. We know it's actually quite higher. 8.21 million Canadians have lost their job or seen a drop in earned income due to COVID-19. For many Canadians who were already living on low incomes prior to COVID-19, this whole pandemic has made their lives significantly harder. I'm sure we all have felt it to some degree throughout this pandemic. Excuse me. And then I can really attest to this. Accessing government benefits is often very complex. I've spent the past few months rewriting these benefits into plain language, and I can't tell you how many times I got a headache just trying to understand what was on the government page. So we've made this tool in the interest of making these benefits easier to understand, and that you don't need to be a benefits expert to use this tool. And so the Benefits Wayfinder, what is it? Why is it so cool? It's an online tool that helps Canadians living on low and modest incomes find and track benefits they could get. Why is it so cool? It's simple, it's intuitive navigation, it's a virtual guide, and it's all written in plain language. Information on the benefits people may be eligible to receive, federal, provincial, and territorial government information and benefits, one-stop resource with 4 ways to search for benefits, can be used by clients individually and by practitioners to support clients with benefit navigation. So as you can see, this is already pretty exciting. And so what is in this tool and what isn't in this tool? All federal and provincial / territorial benefits that can help individuals and families increase their incomes or lower their expenses. What we're saying here is all the benefits on here have a dollar value and can have a positive impact on your budget, and just will have a direct impact is basically what we were going for. And then we have 4 really awesome ways to search for benefits. We have the starting points, which are essentially like they are exactly what they sound like. They're a starting point. By clicking on a button, you get a really cool snapshot of different benefits based on that unique position you're in. We have a short questionnaire to give you a really exciting customized list that fit your exact circumstances. And we have a way to browse all the benefits we've drafted, which is just an absolutely insane amount of benefits. Trust me, I know. And then selecting benefits already received to explore related benefits. This is a really cool feature where we're allowing you to see benefits that are related to another one. So you go on the tool, you say, I'm receiving that benefit. Well, because you're receiving that, you might like these, which is a really quick way to find benefits. And we also have overviews of each benefit. We don't like leave you hanging. And it's available in English and French, which is really awesome. Now, what does it not include? We do not have municipal or local benefits supports. Supports that do not give a direct financial benefit. And we don't have answers to every possible question because there are just too many questions. And then it's not available in other languages besides English and French, although we are exploring that possibilities for the future. And then one last goal, our goal is to create a single resource from which frontline staff and vulnerable Canadians can learn about the benefits that apply most to their situations, take next steps to get these benefits, and know where to go for more information. So for the purpose of this walkthrough, we are going to use a persona. Her name's Aisha. She's from New Brunswick. She's a mother of 2 children. She's a permanent resident of Canada. She's employed part-time but looking for full-time work. Earns about $23,000 per year. Is not up to date on filing her income taxes. She's worried about paying her rent bills. May need childcare if full-time work is found, and is wondering generally what benefits she may be able to get. So without further ado, let's get into the fun stuff. Bear with me for 1 second as I switch over to browser view. Oh, there we go. Gail, can you just confirm that you're seeing what we should be seeing? Oh. What?
Thanks, Vic. Right now I'm seeing your PowerPoint slides.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, it's not letting me switch over. There we go. Are we good now?
Yes, perfect. We can see
Awesome.
the
Okay.
pick your province or territory.
Okay, nobody panic. We figured it out. Wonderful. So as I mentioned, just to get things started off, when I opened up this tool, I opened up in incognito mode because I wanted to give you what the first time you enter this site, what you'll see. So the moment you enter this site, it's going to ask you what province or territory you're in. For the purpose of Aisha, she's from New Brunswick, so we selected that. And down here, it takes you straight to the starting points, as I mentioned before. We'll come back to these, but I want to start with the survey because I feel that's the best way to get your ultimate list of benefits. But here are the starting points. Just some super exciting things that we can explore later. Okay, so let's start with the survey. Are you up to date on filing your taxes? Oh. Sorry, 1 second. It seems my thing is paused. There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay, that's last time, I promise. So let's start filling out this survey. Are you up to date on your taxes? Aisha is not. How old are you? We know that she's between 18 and 59. What is your citizenship or immigration status? We know that she's a permanent resident. We know that she works part-time, excuse me. We know that she makes between 15 and 25,000 per year, including yourself, how many people live in your home. We know she has 2 children and is not married. Do you care for any children under 18? Yes, she certainly does. Are you or is anyone in your household living with a disability? No. Okay, so we've reached the halfway point in the survey. And basically, if you wanted to, you could stop here and immediately go to all your benefits. But because we have the time, let's complete the questionnaire and get that full list of benefits. So let's continue the questionnaire. Where do you live? Where do you live? I am renting. Are you pregnant or expecting a child? No. Length of stay in Canada, more than 20 years. Are you a Canadian veteran? No. Do you have a parent or spouse who lived in Canada passed away? No. Okay, so we've completed the questionnaire. It's telling us, great job, damn right. And we found 16 recommended benefits for you. So we're gonna go straight to the dashboard and take a look at those. Now we're in our dashboard, and now we have our full list of benefits based on the answers we gave in the survey. And then right at the top, we have the Canada Child Benefit, Canada Learning Bond, Canada Workers Benefit. Now, what exactly do each of these mean? Let's click on one of the benefits to take a look at the actual benefit page. So we're going to just go here, and then the Canada Child Benefit, awesome benefit. This is what every single benefit page is going to look like. There may be a few extra fields here depending on the benefit, but you're getting all of this information in every single benefit page. So right away, Canada Child Benefit. The cool thing about this benefit is if you are getting the Canada Child Benefit, you'll now be eligible for these other benefits. Any benefit that has that feature, we include it as kind of an exciting thing to be like, hey, if you take the time to apply for this benefit, boom, you're now eligible for these other benefits. That's even more money in your pocket. That's super cool. Along the top here, we have marked this as a complex application as opposed to as a simple application. We only have 2 ratings, simple and complex. So don't let that like completely turn you off, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's super complex. It's not the easiest one to apply for. On all of the benefits, right away, there'll be a link directly to the source where we got this information from. So this is your source. If you want to get more information, you want to find out more details, just click on that link. It'll take you to the government page. You'll get right into the nitty and gritty. If you scroll down, we have 3 drop-down menus. So we have eligibility. It tells you who may be eligible for it, what circumstances you need to be in to be able to apply. Identification needed to be provided. This is really handy just for getting people prepared for the application. Like, take a look at these documents. You'll need to get these ready ahead of time. And this is an exhaustive list. We do our best to make sure the only things on here are the things you'll need. And then how to apply. This gives you links directly to the application force page, the different forms you may need. It tells you how to apply online or in person. It's everything you can imagine. It's super cool. So we scroll to the bottom, and just in case, we have this other feature where it's like, hey, this benefit's really similar to the Canada Child Benefit, Child Disability Benefit. This is just another cool feature where it's like you're on a benefit page. I like this benefit. Is there anything like it? Sure is. Just scroll down, and you'll find a bunch of others. So we're going to go back to the dashboard. I'm getting super excited. There's just so many features. I just start unpacking one at a time. Anyways. Canada Child Benefit for Asia seems like a pretty great idea. I'm going to go ahead and mark that as interested. This is just, once again, another little feature. It's just a way of tracking as you go through all these benefits. You can mark interested on it. You can mark it as something I'm already receiving, which has its own benefits. But just for the purpose of time, I'm going to go back to the dashboard and show you a few other cool things. Oh, also, I got ahead of myself. If I'm going too fast or there's anything you're seeing on the screen you want me to like unpack a little, just pop it into the chat or question box, and Galen will let me know, and I'll dive into it for you. Okay, so we're now back at the dashboard. Once again, these are the benefits we've generated by filling out the survey. So we have these 16 recommended benefits. One thing I like to do, which just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, when I'm looking at these benefits, we have the option to mark them their priority. So I mentioned how, I know the Canada Child Benefit's an awesome benefit. I'm going to mark it as high. By the way, because I tagged this one earlier as interested, it will now appear up here. So if I click on this list, it'll only show the benefits I've marked as interested in. Going back to recommendations, I just want to make sure I highlighted that for everyone. So let's scroll down. Canada Learning Bond. I don't think that's necessarily what Aisha is looking for, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. If I was wrong, I would ask her, of course, but she's not here, so I'm just going to make an executive decision. Canada Workers Benefit. This could be valuable, so let's just go ahead and hit medium. Canada Child Benefit Young Child Supplement. Awesome. Let's hit that with a high priority. I'm doing this just so that I can go to the top and start by priority. This is just a cool way to basically work with your client and say, hey, these benefits are your top priorities. We've acknowledged these ones are exactly what you're looking for. We're going to mark them as priority high so that when you take a look at this list, you know which ones you should be focusing your most time and energy on, because that's really one of the tough parts about applying for benefits is it's really taxing. So it's really good to mark the ones that you think like focus on this one, get this one done first, and especially the ones that open the door to other benefits, which I mentioned before.
Hey, Jack, just
Yeah,
jumping in. Actually, we had a request from the chat very quickly. Someone who's really excited to see all of the things that you're showing, but just asked if you can slow down a little bit when you're showing the different features. I know you're super familiar with them now at this point, but for our new folks on the line, if you can just spend a couple of moments more highlighting each feature that you're going through slowly.
absolutely. And I apologize. It's been a lot of time in development. There's so many different buttons. There's so much to unpack. I'll slow down a bit here. Okay,
Perfect,
so
and thanks for the feedback as well.
exactly. So we've scrolled through all of these awesome benefits. This is our full list of benefits we've generated. I'm just going to take a few off just for the sake of it. Scroll all the way bottom. So this is approximately, we have 14 benefits recommended right now. Now, let's talk about next steps. We've generated this list. We've gone through a few of these with our clients. How are we going to do next steps? Well, you have a couple options. You can download a PDF. You can print off this list, or you can also save my session, which is a way you can email it to, ideally you email it to the client and yourself. I'll explain why in a minute. But you have all three of these options: email, PDF, and print. What does it look like exactly? Like, what is it they're getting? I'll show you with the PDF. It'll just take a second to load because I'm on camera. Okay, so this is the PDF print off. This isn't that important. And here's the list of benefits. Canada Child Benefit, because I marked it high priority, it's now appearing at the top. This is the summary of the benefit list. So here are your key titles. We keep scrolling. And now we get into the actual benefit page for each individual benefit. Canada Child Benefit, here's the summary, your eligibility, your how to apply, different links, identification needed, etc. And this goes through it for every single benefit that you've kept on the list. So let's go back to the dashboard. That's where the removal button kind of comes in handy in narrowing this list and making it a bit easier. But it's okay just to send them with a really long list if they're all really valuable benefits. Now, why would you want to send this to yourself and to your client? So this is one feature of the BSD, the benefits wayfinder. Excuse me. Is that if I were to close this right now, if I was in my regular browser and I closed the wayfinder and opened it back up, this whole list would reappear. It doesn't go away. It saves the answers you left. So to get rid of this list and to start with a new client, you need to clear your session. By saving the session and sending it to someone else, you can come back to this list later, and so can your client. So after each time you work with a client, or whatever reason you may want, like you just want to start over, clear your session, and then you'll get the prompt to do that survey again. Just a few more little features here on the left. I mentioned the interested button. Benefits I'm already receiving. Let's just put one here. So I'm already receiving that, even though it's not quite possible. It now appears on this list as well. And removed benefits. So this is basically your recycling bin. If you delete something and then a few minutes later you're like, wait, that actually does work, go back to the removed benefits. So this is your dashboard. This is really handy if you have a client who's willing to share a lot of details and you really want to get into all of the different possibilities. However, these questions can be kind of invasive at times, and not everyone wants to share right away. That's why we have the starting points. So I am going to clear my session. So by doing that, clear my session, takes me back to the home page, and as you can see, I have the survey prompt once again. If I hadn't cleared my session, that survey will no longer appear because it assumes I've already answered the questions. So let's scroll down back to these starting points. By the way, if you wanted to just jump to the starting points, they are up here, but I've taken us back to the home page, and I'm just scrolling down to the buttons because I think the buttons are pretty. I heard a few people mentioned like disability benefits in the chat earlier. So let's do it. I'm looking for disability support. Yeah, I'm looking for disability support, but this list of benefits is every New Brunswick federal benefit that you could be eligible related to disabilities. This has nothing to do with the survey. This is not narrowed down. This is all of them that fit into that niche category. And once again, you can click directly onto this. And once again, you can see the explanation of the benefit, the eligibility, how to apply. You can mark it as interested. You can say I'm already receiving it. This one's marked once again as a complex application. This is a really tiny feature. It's just something if you're really paying attention. That little check mark means this does require tax filing. Oh wait, no, tax filing not required. I'll get it together. So these are all of our different starting points. I'm caring for a child. I'm looking for disability support. I'm new to Canada, newcomer, immigrant. This is great if you're just meeting with a client and you're like, hey, like we have this really cool tool, like boom, look at all these awesome disability benefits. Maybe you want to go, and then after showing them a few, maybe you go back and you fill out the survey. Another scenario, you've done this a few times, you're an expert like me, and you're like, oh, I'm looking for a specific benefit. I'm looking for the Canada Child benefit. I'm not going to fill out that survey. I'm not going to press on a button. I'm an expert. I'm going to go to browse all benefits. So this is the full archive. This is everything. Granted, right now it's sorted by federal and New Brunswick because we have New Brunswick up here, but we could open up the search all the way to every single benefit in here. I don't know why you do that, but maybe you're looking for, maybe you just feel like exploring. But as I mentioned, you're looking for something specific. Boom, it appears right at the top. This is just a really quick and efficient way to find stuff. I use it all the time. If someone asks me, hey, I'm looking for this benefit, bam, you just go in here, you search it up. It's very quick, it's very easy. You can click on the benefit, and again, it's just it's always taking you to the benefits page. Okay, so we've talked about starting points, we've talked about the questionnaire, we've talked about browse all benefits. Just a few things, just something I want to highlight on this screen because I'm not sure I got to it before. Earlier, when I joined, it asked me what province or territory you're from. If you're coming back onto this tool, and it will probably, like, if you didn't clear your session, New Brunswick will appear up here. Or basically, if you come back, it should always recognize, be like, oh, this person came on here and said they're from Ontario. It will assume you're still from Ontario. If you want to change that, you can just click on that drop-down menu and pick any of the regions. Just click on Ontario. And now it's filtering based, assuming you're living in Ontario. It's just, I know that's not a huge feature. It's just something you might want to be able to do if you get stuck on New Brunswick and you're working with someone from Ontario. So let's talk about the help button, which is really cool. Once again, I realize I talk really quickly. I'm super excited. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Galen can forward them to me and I can jump back to anything. Anyways, here's the help page.
Jumping in, Jack, I have a whole host of questions to get to you for the end, so don't worry, I'm saving them all up. Keep sending them our way. Thank you, everyone.
Mark me as scared and excited. So, need help getting benefits. Let's put ourselves back in the scenario of working with Aisha. You've created this awesome list of benefits. You've emailed them to her and yourself, and now, let's be honest, you're leaving and maybe they're a little scared. They're like, oh, like, you want to make sure that they're equipped for the next steps. This is where the help button comes in. Because just highlight this again, because I marked it for Ontario, it's just showing agencies for Ontario. We're not that Ontario centric, don't worry. Point being, so you go to the help page and it lists off every key, like critical organization that can help them with the next stage in their journey, whether that be helping them file their taxes, helping them apply for benefits. It's just an organization that you can refer them to. It has the contact information, it has their website, has their email, has a brief, very brief summary of the services they offer. And this obviously will take you directly to their page. Oh, I'm not actually sure what that link does, but this will take you directly to their homepage. And as I mentioned, these are just for Ontario. We have them for every region, which is super exciting. It's just something, an extra value add, so that you're making sure that people are going home and like taking and applying for these benefits. Because I mentioned earlier in the presentation, like, there's billions of dollars in unclaimed benefits. So every single one you're getting people to apply for is a huge win. And so let's just go back up to the top. One last feature, because like I said, this tool is just dripping with features, is the agency portal. So we're going to go over the agency portal. What is the agency portal? This is a big page of different resources that you may find valuable. So for people who haven't filed their taxes, view resources on tax filing services that client can access. People preparing for or experiencing a major life transition. This is basically just different points you can go to if you're not sure how to proceed. Action plan, download an action plan template. Other resources and other tools and worksheets. Will take you to Trove, another really awesome tool we have that just has all sorts of different resources you can touch on. This will take you back to the help page. And then before I forget about it, free training. Oh, well, this would take you to free training we have now available that started today. I'm going to talk about that more in a slide later on, but just so you know, the link to the training is on the agency portal page. Just hovering my mouse over here because it is a little tiny button. Also right next to the Francais button, so that if you want to switch languages, it's right there, obviously. Okay, so I think we've covered just about everything. I just want to lastly touch on how to share this tool. Share this tool. This just gives you some sample buttons and the means to publicize our tool for us in a great way. It also gives us a contact us link. This is just a nice little feature. Once again, click on the agency portal, it takes you here, it shows you all this extra cool stuff. I think that's it for the walkthrough. Galen, did I miss anything? Oh, one last thing. I just really want to hammer home this point. We, like all of us, wrote these benefits, designed this tool so that you do not need to be a benefits expert to use this tool. Like, I really can't emphasize that point enough. Like, don't feel intimidated, just give the tool a shot. It's a lot easier than you think. Okay, and Galen, if there's nothing else, I'll take us back to the slideshow. Yeah. All right, so just give me 1 second. Hopefully this is a smoother transition than last time. Oh.
Hey, Jack.
Hello.
I was just wondering if you could stay on this page, actually, since we have a few questions that might be helpful to show live as we ask them.
Yeah.
Thanks for that walkthrough. We have a ton of questions, so apologies to everyone. I may not be able to get to all of your questions in this session, but please do. We'll try and address them if we can in the email out afterwards. But please feel free to email us after this session if we don't answer your question. Let's see. Okay, I have, yes, many. We have a question from Dana about Dana noticed that there is a checkbox that indicates whether, checking whether you're Indigenous or not when you open a particular benefit. So Dana, the question Dana has is, how does being Indigenous affect the application process? So if you're Indigenous and you're living on reserve, your application process might look a bit different, and the benefits you're able to get might also look a bit different depending on your band's agreement with either provincial or territorial governments. And so that's a really important note. So it's something for you to know if you are working with Indigenous clients, that you can use the benefits wayfinder to find benefits that are out there, but you shouldn't rely on the eligibility criteria specifically or the dollar amount specifically in the case of working with an Indigenous person who's living on reserve. So when you check that box, a note comes up to say that. And generally our advice in that case is that people should contact their local government, so their band office, for example, or whoever their group's government is, to find out more about the benefit as well. So that's just a really important note for people to know if they're using this tool and they're Indigenous, or if you're working with someone who's an Indigenous person living on reserve. Next one, we had a question from Jyoti about whether social assistance is listed here. So short answer, yes. For every province and territory, we have the main social assistance programs. So for example, in Ontario, that would be Ontario Works, or on the Ontario Disability Support Program. For example, in Alberta, it might be income support and assured income for the severely handicapped as well. Linda, if we notice that a resource is missing, can we get it added? Absolutely. We really encourage all of you to share your thoughts on the tool. And if there are things that are missing that you'd like to see added, please do email us and let us know. Let's see. Cody mentions that their agency helps newcomers access benefits, but they're not listed under the help section. Can we get added? Absolutely. So there are instructions on that page on how to do that. But in general, it's contacting us and sending us some information about your organization, and we can make sure to add you. We are always looking for new organizations to add to that list, so that's very helpful. Thank you for that question, Cody. Let me see. Valerie had a question about how many benefits there are in the benefit wayfinder. It's been a few days since I did a final count, but I believe it's in the 250 to 300 range. So there's about, depending on the province and territory, there's anywhere between 10 and 40 benefits per province or territory, as well as about 30 federal benefits that are on there. Let me see, we had a few more questions. I think we might have answered this one, but just in case, Dana also had a question about if you're helping someone who needs to file their taxes or get identification to apply for a particular benefit, does this tool link you to organizations that can help with that? Yes, and so that's in the help section that Jack is clicking on. What's really important to note here is that it will only show you organizations in the province or territory that you have selected, which is why you're seeing Ontario organizations right now as Jack is going through it. So we also, within all of those details on those agencies, we have a full list of the financial empowerment services that they provide. So if you know of any other organizations that should be added to this list, please do let us know. We want to make sure that everyone is able to get help. And I think Dana's comment around needs to file their taxes or getting identification can be pretty specialized support. And so we want to make sure that if you're working for an agency that doesn't provide that support, that you know where you can go to refer your client to for that kind of support. Just scrolling through the list here. Oh, someone had a question about whether you need to sign in to the site to use it. So no, you don't need to make any sort of login or sign in. The main ways you can preserve your session and come back to it is using that Save My Session feature that Jack showed. So he's highlighting it right there. So once you click on Save My Session, it opens this pop-up and it allows you to either copy the URL so you can save it in a document on your computer, or you can put in email addresses either for yourself or for your client, or send it to a relative, for example. That is the main way that you can save your session and return to it, but it doesn't need any sort of login. Let's see. Oh, how are updates handled? Yes, this is a really important question for a tool like this, because if you've used similar tools or been watching benefits in the past, you know that things change on an ongoing basis. So we are monitoring media to see when announcements are made to changes to benefits. For example, in the new year, a number of different benefits across the country changed the dollar amounts that they pay. There were some additional amounts due to COVID as well. We also do a full content review of the site every 6 months to make sure that that we are keeping things up to date as well. And the last piece is we also really appreciate the support of everyone who's using the tool to flag any things that they see, especially if you hear in your region that there is a new benefit coming out that should be included, or there's an important update to a benefit. It helps us so much as well to hear from all of you. So please do share your thoughts and feedback and any local insights you have about benefits. Speaking of local insights, we had a question about ways to integrate with municipal benefits. There was one person, I can't find the name right now, but who asked about ways to access municipal benefits through the benefits wayfinder. So right now, that's not included, but it is something that we are exploring as a future update. In that case, the number of municipal benefits that are out there are frankly beyond the capacity of our small but mighty team. So we're really looking to find alternative ways to add that content and update it, potentially in collaboration with municipalities, but we're not there yet. We had, let me just see some other questions. Oh, we had another question from Cody is, will this work of collecting all the benefit information from across Canada be able to help with benefits advocacy for access to benefits? So this is a great point, Cody, that for us going through across all of these different provinces and territories made it really clear what certain provinces and territories focus on and what they don't focus on. And it also highlighted some of the important regional differences in benefits administration. So we see this as a really helpful tool for us to be sharing back with governments about what we've learned about benefits by aggregating all this information. So that's a great comment as well. We also had a question from Jenny about the data we're able to access on this site and what we'll be able to do with it. So one of the main things that we can see, and which is really helpful for us in our conversations, both with frontline organizations but also with governments, is we're able to see a little bit at a large scale level about what types of situations people are coming to the benefits wayfinder with. And we're also able to see which benefits people click in and seem most interested in. And so that's really helpful for us to understand what people are using the benefits wayfinder to do and how we might be able to make it better as well. Let me pause for 1 second while I skim through the questions. Perfect. So Susie had a question about, is there a long-term goal to build a how to apply section? So right now, as you've seen, there's a short summary of how to apply within each benefit. Jack, if you could just quickly click in on any one of those. And what Susie is highlighting is that we do have a summary here, but there are some benefits that are particularly challenging. So for example, if you're applying for disability benefit support, often there's a process of you need to get a doctor's note, you might have to see another professional, and there might be multiple rounds of vetting through that process. And so right now, the information that we have, we've tried to create a very high level plain summary of what your immediate next steps are so that people know what they need to do next to get the benefit. For some of the more complex benefits like disability benefits, we are exploring an additional build on to give kind of a step-by-step guide to those benefits, but we're not there yet. Good question. Thank you, Susie. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, where is the best place to start for people with multiple starting places? So for example, an Indigenous senior with a disability. So if you go to the starting points, that's a really, there's each of those situations has its own unique starting point. I hesitate to say that there's a single best one. A good way to explore with a client would be to ask them which benefits they're already getting. So in the case that you've mentioned, for example, Linda, um, they're an Indigenous senior with a disability. I'd be curious to know if they're getting any benefits related to either being Indigenous or having a disability or being a senior. So in this case, maybe they have quite a few disability benefits, but they're only now turning 65. That would be a really good chance then to talk about seniors benefits as a starting point, if that's kind of the fresher transition for them. So in general, there's no starting point that's best to start with, but I would say the one that maybe is the most recent transition they're experiencing is a good place to start, because that's usually where you'll find more benefits that they don't know about. Let me see if I can get to one more question and then we'll wrap up. Thank you, everyone. You've kept me busy with the question and answers here. Oh, perfect. Blanquita had a question about, are we able to share the link to the Benefit Wayfinder tool on our organization's website? Absolutely, you can, and we would love it if you did. So if you go into the agency portal, I believe, Jack, and then scroll down, there's a section there, Blanquita, that says share your tool. So you can both share the link if you want, but if you click on that link that Jack's got, we actually have some graphic buttons that you can download. So all you need to do is fill out a bit of information, just give your organization name and choose the options that you want. These are both in French and English. And then it will send you an HTML code that you can put directly into a website. So that's the fancy way of sharing the link to the Benefits Wayfinder. But you are absolutely welcome to share just the hyperlink benefitswayfinder.org with anyone and everyone. Okay, thanks, Jack. Thanks for walking through that as I was speaking. If you wouldn't mind taking us back to the PowerPoint so we can wrap up and talk about next steps, that would be great.
Awesome. Great job, Galen. Okay, so we've completed our walkthrough. Super exciting. Just some last tips I'm just going to regurgitate, because I did touch on these a few times throughout the presentation, but just some stuff we really want to hammer home. Finding benefits, start using your starting points, fill out the questionnaire for a more personalized list of results. As we saw, by filling out the questionnaire, like it really did fit your circumstances more, as opposed to, as Galen mentioned, the starting points, which one size does not fit all. Benefit pages, there's links to the government reference sites. So on every single benefit page, there will be a link that takes you directly to the government reference. Find new benefits related to the benefits your client is already getting. As we talked about earlier, when you go on one of these benefit pages or you mark a benefit as something you're already receiving, that will impact the benefits we recommend to you. And so like that is a great way to discover benefits that are an easier application. View most common recommended benefits, and then supporting clients, save or print to equip clients, or also, save or print essentially, helping clients if you aren't a benefit expert. I've hammered this point home, but again, you don't need to be a benefits expert to use this tool. Get help and refer to other agencies, which this is under the help button. We hammered this point home as well, and then visit the agency portal for those extra exciting resources. And then the free online training. So the Foundations of Access to Benefits course helps you gain essential knowledge and skills to support community members with access to benefits. So upon completion of this course, you receive a super awesome certificate of completion, a practitioner guide to support your use of the Wayfinder tool, and access to further training. This is not exclusively Wayfinder related course. There's so much more to it. And this course opens today. And will be available for up to 6 weeks upon registration. This means that when you register, you have 6 weeks to complete the course. We estimate this course requires approximately 3 to 4 hours to complete, and it's delivered through self-directed online learning modules. By self-directed, we mean it's you're able to do it on your own time, essentially. And then, any last Q&A? I feel like Galen's a little winded, but we could make him work a bit more.
Mostly we have lots of folks just saying thank you. We have a couple people who used the benefit screening tool before, and they wanted to know if this is the final version of the benefit screening tool. Yes, absolutely. So this is the updated and final version. For those of you who don't know what the benefit screening tool was, it was a previous version of the same type of thing that helped people navigate and find benefits. We also have a few people asking for questions about the course, about the registration links and things like that. So we will make sure to include that in our follow-up email for you. So we'll be emailing all of you with not just the recording for today's session, but also the instructions for how you can sign up for the training. And just a reminder, it is free to use. So please do share it with other staff who you think might be interested in. I also wanted to highlight as well just how much work it is to create a site like this and all the training that goes behind it, and to make it available for free like this. And so I wanted to acknowledge the support that we received from TD Bank Group as well, that has made all of this possible. So we really encourage you to use the tool, share your thoughts with us, and we also have a poll for you to fill out today to share your thoughts on today's session. So we'll make sure to pop that up once Jack and I are finished. We'd love to hear your feedback on what worked well for you, what you'd like to see differently in the future, and if there's any further questions you'd like to explore. And help us get the tool out there, help us get the Benefits Wayfinder out there. And if you do see something that you think needs to be fixed or changed or added, please do let us know. You can email us at benefitswayfinder@prospercanada.org. Okay, with that, Jack, are you able to bring up the poll for folks?
Let me see. Oh, I'm not seeing any polls. Let me just.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't see it either. Well, no worries. We can email people with the poll afterwards. So Oh, I'm just getting a notes. Oh, it's the survey link for us to share. If you're able to share that, Jack, if you have it. But if not, we can send it. We'll send it out in the email afterwards, so all of you have it. We're looking forward to hearing all your feedback. Okay, with that, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you again. And excited to continue chatting about the benefits Wayfinder with all of you. So please do reach out. And a last reminder, we have a French version of this same webinar coming up same time next week. So that is February the 8th from 1 to 2 p.m. Thanks again for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.